Hi there, I'm Giockbul and today we are playing a cozy game about a young witch who loves spice and simply adores strawberries. The story unfolds on the continent of Valhalla. There were once gods who bestowed numerous blessings upon the people, summoning rains, resurrecting the dead. The people worshipped them, however the humans grew discontent and desired more power. After 600 years of concealing their ambitions, they managed to obtain a source of power capable of challenging the gods. This led to a war in which the gods were defeated, yet there were children abandoned in the woods who survived and now defend themselves against witch hunters. Our main character is a girl who was abandoned but managed to adapt to life in the forest, surviving for many years. The story revolves around the transformation of the little girl's desires. Initially, she defended herself and enjoyed fighting with people who brought her pies as a reward. As time passed, her desires evolved, both mentally and physically. After a pivotal moment, a meeting with her mother, who bestowed blessings upon her, she physically ages to a 14-year-old. During her journey, she encounters the witch hunters led by Kelvis, also known as the Pope. He is an antagonist, but not entirely so. A dark energy, the same force that allowed humans to challenge the gods, is at fault. Kelvis, fearing the entity that granted them this power, began hunting witches to find the chosen one, Pyberry, who could defeat the dark force. However, Kelvis conducts experiments on witches, infusing them with the dark energy, turning them into his servants, who fight on his side. The main character, Pyberry Lucia, endeavors to navigate the harsh world. Along her journey, she finds numerous individuals initially seen as enemies, but later becomes able to change their minds and have them join her cause. The primary goal is for Pyberry to become the chosen one by visiting all the temples where Spring resides. The lords of each temple will awaken and bestow their blessings. Throughout the journey, Pyberry is accompanied by Arco Blackjoy, who is in reality the guardian pet of Pyberry's mother's temple. Each temple has its own guardian pet, and there are a total of 5 temples: Arrow Temple, Aimhart Temple, Ellison Temple, Durok Temple, Aramut Temple. I won't delve into the details of the plot to avoid spoilers. Now let's smoothly transition to our combat system, which is turn-based and quite convenient. Typically our party consists of Pyberry herself, who can summon additional pets. Towards the end, there is also the option to fight alongside our allies on the same side, but only when we are doing the storyline. In our arsenal we can engage in either physical or magical damage, however there is a nuance. After using magic, energy accumulates, and when we unleash a physical attack, this energy is released, dealing quite a decent amount of damage. There is also the option of blessings, which we receive permanently after visiting certain temples in the storyline. One of these blessings grants a skill with damage, large and powerful arrow. But in my opinion, the resurrection of Lucia or the full protection of Aimhart are among the most useful. There is also domination, which immobilizes opponents for a couple of turns. While blessings are beneficial, we can fight in 2 ways, either physical damage or magical damage. Personally, I chose magic because it seemed more interesting to me, casting various skills that are divided into several elements, namely fire, ice and lightning. I particularly enjoyed the ice skills. When maxed out, they dealt significant damage and the mana cost was reasonable. After a challenging battle, Lucia can visit a village if required, however she can only do this after obtaining special clothing that changes her appearance. Yes indeed. There are a couple of looks, both from DLCs and in-game. Using the appearance of a noble lady, Pyberry can enter a regular village. And it is precisely in one of these villages where we can obtain food needed to tame a pet that will fight on our side. They are scattered reasonably well throughout the world. The main condition is that they must have intelligence and their HP should be less than 30%. However, not every animal can be tamed. There are specific types. Some pets are given after completing certain storyline quests. Having had enough battles, we head back to our hideout. Here our little witch can enchant various stats, whether it is mana, HP, defense, speed or magical or physical damage. Each training session requires time to conduct. The training itself involves a small minigame. You can swim from side to side, do push-ups with a boulder, or simply press the necessary keys. There are also a piano-like game where at a specific moment when a note aligns with a button, you press it, maintain balance. Each training session increases increase either mental or physical strength, subsequently boosting critical hits with specific damage. Additionally, you can rest here, fully restoring HP and MP. During this action, you can send out bird to collect resources. And if certain stats are lacking, you can craft stat boosting potions, or potions for HP and MP restoration. However, for this you will need to explore the world and gather resources. But one of the most useful features of this hideout is that here we can craft skills using special books, and they have their power ranging from 4-star to 7-star. Also, there is a book with powerful strengths, but for you need to use 99% of your MP. That's ridiculous but powerful. If that's not enough, you can also upgrade your weapons by feeding them specific resources, thus elevating their prowess. There are 3 skill branches here. The first is purely magical damage. Strength is all you need, and the skill that can be used with this weapon for damage. The second is a more defensive option, with the skill being a shield. The third option appealed to me the most because there is a chance to heal just from the weapon skill, a very lightweight feature. Even HP points may not be necessary. Additionally, the weapon I carried created a puddle beneath me, healing half of the damage I received. Now, Piper is a strong girl, and for complete happiness we need to level her up. There are only 5 levels, but each level brings significant benefits, especially the transition from level 4 to level 5. You gain experience after killing a bunch of mobs, and each of these bunches can be killed once to earn experience. However, subsequent kills of the same mob bunch only earth resources and nothing more. This is very convenient because the game doesn't force you to grind for hours to overcome certain content. Additionally, each of these spots has a specific resurrection time. Naturally, bosses have a longer resurrection time compared to regular mobs. As for the puzzles in this game or these small minigames, they are done quite amusingly, but I didn't quite grasp their purpose, whether they exist or not. Nothing essentially changes, it just consumes time. For instance, moving carriages to clear a path or a puzzle where you need to navigate a cube, but you can only move in 4 directions across to the other side while avoiding exploding lines of fire. And here we move to the other side, where we need but not necessarily to complete quests for the trader. He gives us the option to bring him specific resources from bosses and mobs, and in return he provides us with a bit of money, resources and secondary equipment that boosts our stats. Additionally, we can sell resources to him directly. After finishing all the quests in the first category, he starts offering quests from the second category and so on. Each time it feels like there is more money involved, but the equipment is better. On the dark side, or more precisely in the black market, we can also obtain powerful equipment. To do this, we simply need to reach the bearded man and he will demand a specific resource from us, obtained from a boss. In this market there are powerful magical staffs and 2 swords. For one of the swords we need to take it to a special location in the icy area and perform specific actions there to fully acquire the weapon. As for weapons, there is a way to obtain them after killing mobs, but these are just ordinary swords with nothing special. You can also get a staff that is simply lying on the ground, which is what I actually use to complete the game. If you want to put in more effort, you can obtain swords from several bosses, but certain conditions need to be met for them. You can't acquire them just like that. In the icy area you can casually pick up a shield that is simply lying there. However, the easiest option, not particularly to be honest, is to accumulate a significant amount of money and just go to the shop in Wawele village to buy equipment for yourself. I like that it's not mandatory, the game doesn't force you to upgrade everything extensively or grind incessantly. You can simply play calmly and enjoy the game at least on normal difficulty level. It is one of those JRPGs where I didn't want to turn off the music. The music here is unintrusive, you can just play and derive pleasure from it. However, as always, there is the same victory melody after defeating enemies every darn time. It is a bit annoying, but you can get used to it. I want to mention upfront that the game is not a masterpiece, of course. It is a story about a little girl who was left alone in the forest and tried to figure out what is good and what is bad, and in the end she more or less succeeded. There was even a feeling that after the middle of the game Piper and her actions became more justified, whereas before it was all just a joke to her. People would come running trying to kill or capture her and she would laugh and just beat them. I almost forgot about the secondary character Alfredo. He is simply the embodiment of an adult trying to do his best, striving to make his parents proud, but he fails to become a soldier. And here's what I want to say: no matter how long you try to do something, if you don't like it, it is just time to give up and try something else. That was Giockbul, we'll see you in the next videos.